Shadow Man encounter. Michael tells of his close encounter in the fall of 1998. It has many typical characteristics, including that his perceptions happened when he woke during the night. He had just purchased a home and spent a day painting it before moving in. His friends left for the night, but he decided to sleep in a beanbag chair. He woke in the middle of the night feeling thirsty and went into the dark kitchen for a glass of water. That's when I got a distinct feeling that someone was watching me, there at the top of the basement stairs and in front of the light switch. I could distinctly make out the figure of what I automatically assumed as my good friend Larry. He called out to the figure which didn't respond. I was still absolutely convinced that I was looking at a living person. My guard went up with the dangerous possibilities of who it could be. He took out a pocket knife in case he needed to defend himself. Then in an instant, the shadow moved forward in my direction. I lunged forward with the knife extending outward. I saw the shadow move into my arms as if deliberately trying to impale himself in my weapon, and it kept on coming. He screamed, and the entity continued straight through his body. I spun around in a circular motion, 180 degrees. I saw the shadow moving at an almost leisurely pace away from me. It proceeded through the large kitchen into the adjoining dining room and finally through the wall that would have led outside if it were a door. He finally turned on the light switch. Wide awake now, he searched the house, found nothing, and evacuated to his old apartment for the rest of the night. He never had a repeat encounter while living in the house. Of note, he said he wondered whether he was thirsty due to the paint fumes. A rational explanation would be that those could have been an influence, as well as an episode of a hallucination associated with sleep paralysis. He wondered if it might be associated with the address ending in 666, and that the house was aligned with magnetic north. Alright, now that's my first story. Hello, Karma. How you doing? Can you hear me? Okay, so in this one, he was just moving into his house, and he spent the day painting and decided to sleep in a beanbag instead of going home to his old apartment. He was staying in the old house and everybody had left. He woke in the middle of the night feeling thirsty and went into the dark kitchen for a glass of water. Now, he had a distinct feeling that someone was watching him, and at the top of the basement stairs and in front of the light switch, he could make out a figure. To me, I mean, when I hear stories like that, like, they're usually quick, you know what I mean? When they're, at least I find them quick. At least he wasn't trying to be too distinctive, too descriptive about it. That's the one thing. Like, usually you can tell when people are telling stories like this, they try to describe the complete look of how spirit was supposed to look, and they only seen him for like 15 seconds, so that's one thing that did stick out to me. So he didn't do that, so I kind of see where there could be some valid just in his writings, you know what I mean? It sounds like it could be a valid thing that he did see. Now he said in here too that it could have been due to maybe sleep paralysis, yeah, or paint fumes from earlier, where he woke up and he was probably thirsty from paint fumes. I know I've heard people saying that you can have the same kind of effect from like carbon monoxide levels being too high and stuff like that, but I don't know about paint fumes. He could have had a little bit too much on him, you know, but looking for a rational explanation, just kind of like the first thing that pops off your mind, you know. So basically I can post this in the Minds chat, and if you guys want to read it, you can. I'll also post it in the chat here. And what do you think, John? Do you think that's real? You think there's a...
Could be. I've had one experience with a shadow person, and I also believe that they can be interdimensional beings as well. They're dark over here because they're not in our dimension, but in their reality they might be full of light. You know, I don't know, that's just a theory. But with me, I have had one experience with one. If you want me to share it, I will. It's only very brief. It's up to you.
Yeah. That's usually about all I ever find about shadow people anyhow, are brief stories. So if you got one, share it.
Right, I might be interrupted, so apologies if I do get interrupted. But
all right.
what it was, I was at my kitchen many years ago, and I suddenly had this really like awful like thoughts, images came in my head, and I knew it wasn't me. And the next second, I saw, and like a mind's eye, I saw a shadow person right behind me, like almost like whispering to me these things. And I can't remember what I said or did, but I got rid of it. And then he was gone, and the things I had in my head were gone. Everything was just gone. So it makes you think, well, if it happened to me, how many times have that maybe happened to other people who maybe wouldn't have the mind's eye to see what it actually was causing this, you know? It just makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. Most of the people that I've heard telling stories about shadow people too, it's like in a blink of an eye, you know what I mean? Like you see an image out of the side of your eye, or something whispers in your ear, but it's never like a straight shot, you know, which he says he did get a straight shot, but he still also says that he didn't really get a full image of it. I noticed that. Like down here, I don't know about the whole address ending in 666, because like shadow people, from what I've heard, they don't really, from most of the stories I've heard, they don't really relate to like evil. Now there's a lot of people who say they feel dark spirits in the shadow people, you know, like it's not just evil people and stuff like that. What do you think about the magnetic north thing? Does either one of you guys have any thoughts on that? Magnetic north?
I don't know
I've never heard of it.
about that, to be honest.
I don't know how that would relate either, being honest. That's first. That's one of the things that stuck out to me, is like magnetic north, because I've never heard anybody really ever bring magnetic north up when it comes to spirits and shadow people.
Yeah. I think the shadow people, they're sort of drawn to maybe people's auras, light, people's, you know, energy. I think it's something on that lines again, but I'm not really sure. I haven't had a lot to do with them. I don't know if Karma maybe has, but I haven't had much dealings with them myself.
Have you dealt with any shadow people, Karma? I think she's taking...
When you know, because I'm out, and so I'm doing other stuff, but I'm listening. and I didn't bring my headphones, and I had you in my bra. When you talk about shadow people, you guys talk about like spirits or other energies surrounding. Like, I don't see just my awareness of us being multidimensional being makes it difficult for me to equate them or associate them with shadow people. Like my ex-husband probably was one, but in the flesh, because they take human form as well. We see them or think like a lot of people associate like it being with like evil. Like, 'cause I think I even watched a video where like you made it, John, and then the person that got touched in the video, they ended up dying or whatever later on, stuff like that. Like, so just from my knowledge and what I'm aware of, um, you can, some people have like that they're masters to where they can do like martial arts with like different type of weapons like knives and stuff like that. A layman, a person who's never touched it before, might use a knife and they might end up cutting themselves, killing themselves. It's one of those things to where everything's mindset. I know we like to kind of say it's not, or
Yeah.
but everything literally is created from our mindset. And what I've learned is that, and this is through experience, not anyone's book, not anyone. I don't want to feel like I'm some academic or anything. No, this is just my life and how I've lived. Like I told you guys about the skull incident, and I told you guys about different occurrences within my life. So everything I speak from comes from experience. That's why I'm able to elaborate or stand on what I do. And shadow people are more like deliverers of faith. It's not to where this is a shadow person in this picture, they're going to cause that stuff to happen. Literally, they're deliverers of faith. So if you've been warned, hey, if you do certain things like a kid, you tell a kid, don't touch that iron, it's hot. And they want to keep touching it, then they get burned one day because the iron's on. They touch it a few times, it's not hot, so they think it's okay, and then they touch it when it's on. Excuse me, it's their fate delivered. Like, I already warned you once not to do that. Same with these things. They bring what was already going to occur, or they kind of confirm what would already occur. In some cases, they bring riches and new different types of lives. Like if you've seen Princess and the Frog, and Princess Tiana, she dealt with the Shadow Man, and supposedly he was, he gave her good things in exchange for what certain things. I don't remember what she exchanged for it. I know she ended up turning into a frog as a result. But regardless of the fact, it's not because they came encounter with this shadow man. Like I said, it's agreements, it's terms and conditions. Same with it's like signing up for a secret society that says, hey, if you do these things, you got to deliver us up. If we do these things for you, you got to deliver us your firstborn. Those can technically be considered shadow men. And since people are able to transfer and transform their position and their appearance, it's not always the evil people. It's not. It's literally people just that are capable of turning into these different things. Like I said, my ex-husband used to. I mean, like I've seen him take multiple different forms. My grandmother's seen him take multiple different forms, and it's kind of one of those things to where people have acquired a certain level of energy, a certain level of intelligence that they didn't. I mean, like minus anything helping them, just because they actually put in the work to do it, and it makes it to where they are capable. If you believe that you're going to die, you're going to die. No, nothing I can say can convince you. You kind of know that too, John, because you were talking about when you kill people, they have to believe it first. That's the same thing. People believe in stuff that weakens them because they've been told that that's going to weaken them. Me personally, I just had 2 shadow people at the house. I want to say what day we did roundtable. Yeah, the day we did roundtable, I did Bob Depton.